Alright. Hi everyone, it's me, Generic Pie, back again with another video for you. Hope you're all doing well wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. This video is a Peepin Tom Bombadil video, which is when I peep on other people's videos, other people's games even. And this video was shared with me by Billy against Amroth, two very good players. I don't know much about this game other than the fact I think when I was trying to find the file on the spreadsheet, I think I did accidentally see who won it. So, I mean, last time I thought I thought that had happened. I'd actually read the wrong row on the spreadsheet, so it was an amazing, exciting climax. But we will see. Hopefully the game is entertaining nonetheless. Let's dive right into it. So we have Amroth playing as the Shadow, and we have Billy playing as the Free People. Billy started off with Through a Day and a Night, and Smeagol helps Nice Master. So you've got one playable card, but a confusion is always nice. If there's any Free People shenanigans, this could be very useful. And for these are, yeah, pretty good. I mean, not the best, but they're all right starting cards, I suppose. You probably want Rage a bit later because you don't tend to want to use that straight away, but it can be useful in the early turns. So Amroth says haven't played in a while. Hopefully not too rusty. So we get a very tasty roll from the Shadow, and we get a less tasty roll for the Free People. I've said it before, if you're gonna get the Palantirs, it's not bad to get them early. I'm guessing we're going to see Smeagol helps Nice Master being played here. We see a pass, we get a muster, so Isengard goes down. There's no way that Gandalf can come in this round, so nothing to worry about. Smeagol is played, and then they draw into There Is Another Way, which is a great card, but it's a bit too early for it. You don't really want it in turn one. We get some standard army movements. Looks like the Shadow is going for Lorien, which is absolutely legit. I suppose in this situation where it's going to be very hard for them to defend, you can get these armies in place early. The Fellowship moves, and they hit on the first movement. It's a 1-tile. Do you kill Gandhi for a 1? Do you kill Gandhi for the 1? Let's see. He does kill Gandhi for the 1. No messing around for the Free People today. I guess when the Shadow has this quite fast start, you might have to kill the Wizard, get a move on. And also because... actually, no, you're not even revealed. Yeah, anyway. So, more army movements. A card is drawn, so... Daylight, essentially. The last battle is very unlikely to get played, and we get more standard army movements with these guys moving down here. And with the final 2 dice, we have the Elves move down 1, and what was that one? And then, yeah, the other Wizard is into the game. So we go on to turn 2. Ents is drawn, and Imrahil. And for the Shadow, ring wraiths are abroad, and musterlings of a long-planned war. So these could be very useful. It's always great to have a desperate battle for when you try and take down those early strongholds. And ring wraiths could be a really convenient way of moving the Nazgûl, especially if they don't roll a sea die this turn. This could be a really handy way of putting one of the strongholds under siege. Billy Amroth allocates 1 eye. And another is added, and then the Fellowship gets this very nice movementy turn. So rather the first turn was rather slow, this should potentially, or could potentially, A, kill Gandalf, and B, should get some actual serious movement going for the Fellowship. So nice roll there for the Fellowship, for the Free People. So Amroth naturally moves Sauron to war. Billy passes. Amroth is prepping these armies, so he's clearly going for the pivot, pincer movement even, trying to get both of these strongholds under siege. Pretty classic Shadow play. The Fellowship move, we get Snake Eyes. Fellowship, so we get... Oh no, he decides to move this army here instead. What's the thinking there? Why'd you do that? Anyway, I thought you'd want to kind of get these armies into position to prioritize these 2 armies over this army. So that's interesting. I wonder... Oh, maybe you play ring wraiths are abroad and then move 2 armies, and then you go blump, blump, and then you use the final movement to move this army up here. I think that's the plan. And then before you actually attack... but having said that, if you'd moved that army up here, you could have still done the 2 army movements and then used an attack to get it. I don't know. I guess with the token, there's some kind of high-level thinking here that I can't quite be bothered to work out, but I think that Amroth may have realized that by doing this, it means that there's a chance to not get an additional elite in one of these 2 strongholds because of the turn orders. I'm not sure. So we see the Ring Race Abroad. That move up, yep, exactly as I thought. The wizard comes into play precisely when he means to. Olokai is drawn. Aha, yeah, so by leaving this till last, it forces... Yeah, okay. Whereas I think if they hadn't done it like this, it could have been a situation where with the final move of the round, the shadow attacks the elves, and that allows potentially 2 musters? 2 musters, one at the beginning of this turn and one at the beginning of next turn, whereas now the onus is on the free people to put the elves to war so that they can put them in next turn. So I think that's... Yeah, exactly. I may have just spoken a load of rubbish there. I don't really know. Anyway, so the shadow draws dreadful spells, very handy, and orcs multiplying again. And the free people are overdrawn. So they're getting all the lovely Mordor cards way too early. You've got Mithril Curtain singing There Is Another Way. Path of the Woes. In this situation, I'm probably going to get rid of Path of the Woes, which can be a great card. But like in this situation, it's probably not a high priority card. They do exactly that. 1 eye is allocated. No more eyes are rolled. And then we get another potentially high movement turn for the free people. So naturally, okay, so this is quite interesting because of the roll. It means now that the free people are going to have to use the will to do the other muster. So that's one of the benefits of the way it's worked out. Ideally, you probably would rather use the will elsewhere and hope for 2 musters being rolled. But anyway, so 1 goes into the Woodland Realm. Woodland Realm's attacked, then presumably the will is used to muster in Lorien, exactly. Lorien is also then attacked, so yeah, all pretty going as expected. The bad man, the Black Captain, Witch King Boyo, comes into the Woodland Realm. Everyone goes to war. Parsy. Woodland Realm is attacked. And what do you go with here? What do you go with? I presume we go with a good old-fashioned... I think I go with the Desperate Battle here. Seems like the least useful card in any other way, and it's always good. Yep, Desperate Battle versus Daylight. How's it going to go? Ooh, that is not a tasty roll by the Amroth, but he gets 1 hit. Ah, that's painful. Only 2 hits back, so not the worst for Shadow, but certainly not ideal. But then you draw into Corsairs. Woof. All right, so the Fellowship move. They are safe. Now they're on step 4. Woodland Realm is attacked. What do we go with here? Part of me would be tempted to just play Dreadful Spells to try and thin it out. Probably Orc Patrol if you're feeling frisky and you're just going all out attack and not worrying about stopping the Fellowship. Given the Fellowship are still just skulking around in Rivendell and you're already highly drawn with strong cards, there is a temptation to use Orc Patrol, although I have found this can be to my detriment. Sometimes it's nice to keep one of those cards in reserve in case of emergency. It can potentially win you the game. The alternative would be to play a card that can hurt you, like Relentless Assault and Onslaught, and those can also go badly. So it's risky either way. I might be tempted to go with... I don't like the Onslaught. I think I'd go with one of these 2. probably, yeah, I'd probably go to Crawler's Death. Oh, no, he goes to Relentless Assault. Okay. Relentless Assault against Confusion. You probably do maybe one hit, or do you go for broke? Against the Confusion, maybe just the one hit. He goes to the 2. All right, Amroth's going for it. Ah! Oh, baby. Oh, baby. That didn't go well. And then gets the one hit. So 2 hits back. That is gone. 3 hits back. He gets the hit on the reroll. Oh, mate. Yeah, that's a heavy hum for the Amroth. Oh man, Amroth is that's like gone so horrifically badly. This does occasionally happen to Shadow when you just when you come up against a reasonably buffed Woodland Realm. It can just sometimes go to complete shit, and nothing you can do about it. I mean, to be honest, whatever card I suppose if he'd played the Crawler's Death, it would have also been bad, but he wouldn't have killed 2 more of his units. So that's the trade-off. So the Fellowship was moved this time as a small payoff, kind of, to even out the luck balance. The Fellowship are hit on a 6. They go through Mordor. They take the Corruption, and then we get a 3. So here, as the free people, do you take a random? Do you take a random? You have to take a random. And it's Legolas, so that's perfect. That's absolutely fine. That's pretty much as good as that could have gone. And then the Southrons are moved down. The Fellowship is flipped. And with the final thing, you have to play a card, obviously. I think at this point, might be tempted to just go for Orc Patrol. Just go for Orc Patrol. You could do Dreadful Spells. Could do Wolokai. I think any of these 3 are solid. You could even do Orcs Multiplying again. But it's a bit slow. I think you don't necessarily need to use that. He goes to the Yolokai. Okay, that's absolutely fine. And then we go on to turn number 4. So what do we have here? So we have Phlox is drawn, and a new power is rising. So very good cards for the Shadow here. Very good cards all around. I mean, Phlox isn't great, but They Are Terrible is great. Or pretty great. And then new power is rising is amazing. So yeah, great stuff for them. And the free people is drawn into Guards of the Citadel and Elven Rope. So yeah, lots of Mordor stuff. But having said that, the Fellowship's moving at a pretty heady pace, relatively, well, I say heady pace. They're about on par, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movements in 3 turns. Pretty good. That's probably about, if you ideally want to get in before turn 6. There's a chance of getting in by turn 5 here, which would be above average. So yeah, the Fellowship's going pretty well. Haven't used any rings or anything. We get this alright, kind of, yeah, no character dice, which could be troublesome, potentially. And then we get quite nice and varied roll there for the free people. They don't need to rush and use the will because the Southrons aren't at war. They move, and they're hit, and it's an eye, and they're revealed. Okay, so this will be interesting, because if they move... that this will could get destroyed potentially, because if Shadow plays this to get them down, then I guess you just don't hide straight away. I guess that's the concession, and you risk them, and then they can't really play any nasty cards anyway. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Yeah, he's not even rushing getting the walls down to the Southrons down to even play Day Without Dawn. So it's obviously not a huge priority for Amroth. Goes into battle against Woodland Realm again. This time plays the... so I'm guessing this time it's going to be They Are Terrible. They Are Terrible against Shield Wall. That's interesting, giving up Imrahil. So clearly just prioritizing survival here, because I suppose in this situation it's really hard to reinforce this army. So if you can hold out and whittle it down, which is possible, then it's more likely to survive. Even with Imrahil, this army almost always kills this. So I can see the logic. You're kind of prioritizing this survival over, because then there's a chance he doesn't even have Corsairs. Like how many cards has he been through? He's been through like about a third of the deck. So I can see the logic there. I mean, it is always nice to hold on to that Emerald of Dalamoth, but yeah, we'll see if it pays off. A calculated gamble. So so it doesn't. So yeah, that's the strength thing. So now you've given up a really good card, and Shield Wall isn't reliable, but you've only taken one hit, so it's not. It's kind of, yeah, and you don't get any hits back. So that's not gone well for the free people. But it's, you know, the whole this whole fight's gone so well for the free people, they can't complain. So they decide to are they just straight pressing? Yep, straight pressing. Okay, no messing around, no wasting time. There's a I guess there's only 2 left. They can't do that much damage to you, but there's a slight risk there. They play a strategy card. What are we going to see here? He goes with the Great Host. See, this is I hate using a New Powers Rising for a Great Host, even though sometimes it's necessary. When you're looking at this board, it's like, how are you going to get the rest of your victory points? This could be a great way of getting more victory points. Like, Amroth's a better player than me, so I feel a bit stupid saying what to do. But I just think, you know, I would gamble on the 5 killing the 2 using... I'd rather use Debris of Orthanc. I guess you can't use it because you haven't got the dice. Yeah. I don't know. Just... what else can you use, I suppose? Yeah... yeah, I can kind of... there's not much else you can use. And now you've killed the... yeah. All right. But it's done the job. It's done the job. And I suppose the trade-off there is, if you don't use a New Powers Rising and you then don't have the dice to... you can no longer press... there's a chance this can just eat up all your dice, because most of these, you can't play Grond, you probably don't want to play Day Without, you know, Relentless Soul, you don't want to play Deadly Strife, you can't play this, and then the only card left to play is Crawler's Death. So it can go, yeah, okay. It feels bad playing Imrahil there. He says I was too relentless. Okay, so they're doing some nice punning. What just happened there? Oh, no, okay. So they flipped the Fellowship using a die, understandably. Now the South ones go down. Okay, so this is interesting. So maybe this is Amroth lulling them into a false sense of security. Do you probably use Day Without Dawn here? No, you don't. Okay, you just say the Day Without Dawn. Is 1 will worth 1 army die? Considering the dice economy, maybe it is. I think it might be. I think I probably would use Day Without Dawn there, because it's very rare that you get one of those perfect turns where they roll 3 will. It's much more effective against 6 dice, I think. Against 5 dice, even rolling 2 wills is pretty uncommon, and then you only kill 1 because they use 1 straight away anyway. So I think I would kill the will here. And now the Fellowship moves, and they get triple hit. And so yeah, let's keep track of that. If the Fellowship gets in by 1 movement next turn, not playing Day Without Dawn there will have been crucial. So that could be interesting. Billy says woof. And so the hunt is working at least. Okay. The Hobbit goes into Edoras. I love it. Love a little Hobbit escape into an army. It's always very satisfying for free people when that happens. Especially when it's the perfect movement. Perfect movement, yeah. So now this army moves up here, and then that also activates one of the Rohan mustering cards. I can never remember them. I always confuse the names of those 3 cards, but one of them requires a companion to be in the army. So that can be huge when, you know, if you're mustering inside a sieged Helm's Deep. It can be really, really useful, actually. Anyway, so these guys are moving up here. I've been skipping through stuff, so at some point this army's got really buff. I just read. Sorry, I do this sometimes with the commentary. So I'm guessing, have you just mustered up? They must have mustered 2 Oliphants. Okay. Gondor is brought down, and Corsairs is played. Nicely done. Nicely done by Amroth there. Doing it right at the end of the turn. Impossible to react to. Gondor's still not at war, so no one's getting mustered. There's no... You're relying on Círdan ships to give you any chance of holding that. How many... yeah, and then if you do that, you know, it's probably not going to be a thing, but then that leaves Rivendell very vulnerable because you can't really muster in Rivendell. But yeah, you'd probably need Shadows on the Misty Mountains or Dunlendings or something like that to even have it. And Dunlendings has been played, so Rivendell's probably okay. Alright, so the 3 draw into We Prove the Swifter and Guards of... No, wait. And Círdan ships. I just said it. It's the one card that can potentially save that. So yeah, if the Shadow doesn't roll any character dice and then you play Círdan ships, there is a chance that, you know, you have a bit of a lucky survival there. Or at least you can prolong the survival. But yeah, I mean, if you ask for one card in that situation, it's going to be Círdan ships. What do you get rid of? I think if you're feeling really ballsy, you play Círdan ships and then you play We Prove the Swifter to get Gandhi in there, which I love doing, but it's a high risk play. And given, you know, having said that, knowing that he's already played a New Powers Rising, it does actually make this play a bit more viable, because normally you want Gandhi in here to activate end cards and stuff like that. But knowing that it's going to be he's played both of the mustering cards, because you know he's played Dunlendings as well. So you can actually probably... It's going to be a slow mustering of Isengard if they want to take Helm's Deep. And you've got this army here with the Hobbit. So I could see that as a risky but potentially viable option if you're feeling really ballsy, and you maybe later on. The Fellowship move. Amroth misses. So how many movement have we got here then? So we've got 2 movement plus a ring. Yeah. So not playing Day Without Dawn last turn could well mean that they get into Mordor this turn, because they're going to go once, twice, and then use a ring, hide with the other dice. So unless, you know, you play Fouling from the Deep, or, you know, maybe Breaking the Fellowship, and you manage to get... but yeah, even you'd have to kill a companion and then hit. So you'd have to get a 3. So it's... Yeah, it could... I think that could be a mistake. Oh! Or you could just play it now. That's the other thing. Okay, that makes me look really stupid. Okay, I'm just carry on. Pretend I didn't say anything. And then Billy says that's game winning. Yeah, so I was just talking about, why didn't you play Day Without Dawn last turn? You can just play it this turn, you idiot. So, sorry. Great commentary here. Plays Círdan ships. Beautiful. And then we get the Grand. Okay, so yeah. Maybe you don't want Gandhi in there. We go with the Mumakil. Not a great roll for Amroth. Only the one back. So yeah, even just one more hit there, and that's 3 hits. That's annoying for Shadow, but you should still comfortably win this fight, you would think, if you're Shadow. We get Dread and Despair. Yeah, smart card to use against 5 dice. Smart card to use, but you're still, you know, you need to roll at least 1/6 there to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, yeah. Wait, what happened there? Huh? Don't know why they didn't do a hit then. That was weird. 2 hits from Amroth, 2 hits back. So they're doing okay. They're not being absolutely destroyed. Imrahil would have been very useful here. Very, very useful. He does play Weaver Swifter, but wisely goes for just the... Does he have a card to... No. Okay, I was wondering if he had the card to muster with Boromir. That would have been cool. Is that worth it? It does give you the caps in the west, so you're running 5. But against this many, do you have? I guess you can play Heroic Death. I think that's a risky move. I mean, on the one hand, it does thin out the Fellowship. So it means that you're probably going to get to Golem a little bit quicker. But having said that, with corruption so high, Shadow isn't really making huge headway elsewhere, I suppose. Erebor's very likely to fall here. Lorien, that's definitely not a foregone conclusion. I think I'd favour, it's maybe like a 50-50, slightly in favour of even the probably in favour of the free people there, depending on the cards. So yeah. Anyway, so he plays Dreadful Spells, just wipes it out. So that sucks. So you send Boromir. That's like the most, is the word ignoble, the most ignoble death. You just like, it's like, I'm gonna save the day, boys. Boromir comes running in. He's a special ability to get into the stronghold, and then just gets like dive bombed by Nazgul. That sucks, Boromir. You suck, Boromir. Boromir can stay. Yeah, he didn't move Boromir. Okay, so the army starts moving out. They're just leaving Boromir. Just like are they just going to put him on like a Viking longboat and send his body off into the sea or something like that? So the dwarves are activated by the movement of this army into Erebor. Starts mustering in Peligir. Just kind of making a use for themselves, really. Peligir is attacked. We get the Crueller's Death hit. Now we play the Crueller's Death. I'm curious, like, if you saved it for this long, I'd be tempted to. I guess you don't have any ways of playing it, but is it really a pro? I guess if you want to keep this army big to give it a better chance of being able to actually take Minas Tirith, I can see the logic. But it doesn't make a difference. I guess Shadow's just trying to keep cycling cards here. Maybe that's the reasoning. No hits back. Press. Yeah, and that does open up this. I did think about that. You know, unless you take it, that does open up an empty Umbar. But there's no cards to play. However, interestingly, the Shadow doesn't even bother to use a movement to take that back. I wonder if this is why this game was recommended to me. Could it be? Let's find out. Oh, you can muster. What am I talking about? I was thinking about... Oh, okay. Yeah, I just officially suck at commentating. It's been a long day, people. It's been a long day. That's always my excuse. Yeah, you can just use a muster. Yeah, I was thinking about moving the army across from near Harad, but I forgot you can just muster. That's done. Anyway, on to turn 6. Free people draw Grimbeorn and Axe and Bow, and the Shadow draw Morgul Wound. Oh, hello, Cruel Weather. That popped up somewhere time. When did that come? That must have been. Oh, okay. Maybe that's why he was playing Crueller's Death, to try and cycle into Cruel Weather, and he did. So that's pretty great. Morgul Wound. It's unlikely this is going to be a corruption win, but it could be. It definitely could be. What are we on? That's -5. So we're only on net 1 corruption, and they're not even in Mordor yet. So corruption could definitely be on the cards, especially when you add in this Cruel Weather slowing them down. They might even get into Mordor this turn. So 1 eye is allocated. So looking at that, if you're free people are thinking, I am going to get into Mordor this turn, everything is happy and good. Let's see what happens. They are missed, then we get the Cruel Weather. Sad. However, they can still get in with a sea die and then a ring. So it's so basically, is there anything that can actually stop it here? We'll see. Man, it's brutal out here. It is brutal. They move again. This time they're missed. So he's trying to make sure that they are revealed into Mordor now, so we can get the 2 tiles. Or at least hit. Erebor is attacked. They play a card. Surely Desperate Battle. Oh no, okay. Interesting. Are you just cycling sea cards again? I guess Morgul Wound is one of the weaker ones. You might want to have red tiles. It's only a one corruption at this point, and you need them to be revealed in order to use it. Let's have a look at the pool. Yeah, okay, it's quite a nice pool. It's quite a nice pool. So you might want to start cycling for character for like some red tiles, or maybe even some like a nasty card to throw at them now. So okay, I can buy that. That's clever. Amroth gets the 2 hits, and we get 1 hit back from Billy. Kills the leader using Black Breath. They draw the Black Captain Commands, which is a great military card, not maybe a corruption card, which is perhaps what they're going for. Then Amroth hits with 1 on the no card, 2 back from Billy. So the dwarves are doing okay, but not enough. Amroth decides to stop there. When you got 1, 2, 3, 4, so you got 7 against 3. Then it's going to be 6 versus 3 if you do the downgrade. Okay, yeah, I think there's no reason to. Do you need to rush that? Maybe not. Maybe you just play it that little bit safer. If this goes badly, that could be GG potentially, because the amount of time it's going to take to reinforce will be colossal, or you have to send these guys out here and up here. And then the north become potentially a nuisance. So yeah, I think that's smart. They should naturally use a ring. And that beautiful Nazgul has made all the difference. Means that they get 2. That Nazgul means 2 tiles. That's the difference that made. That's how important that is. And they're both zeros. So that's very irritating for the. I mean, on the one hand, you've exhausted the hunt pool of the 2 best tiles for Golem, but still, you kind of want like an eye, and then a 2 or something like that would be great. No, an eye and then a 3. That's what you want. An eye and then a 3. Erebos attacked. Shadow plays a card. This time it has to. Well, I guess you could go for the onslaught to try and finish them off, and hope you get some hits. But you kind of want to use that as the finisher, and you don't know if you're going to be in a position to use it. Yeah, I think Desperate Battle makes more sense. And yeah, you've done it. Great. They then draw the Relentless Assault, because the king will not be being revealed this game. And we get an axe and bow. So that's handy for the free people. They then go for Dale. So this is going to take the shadow up to a very delicious 8 victory points, just as the free people are on the brink of getting into Mordor. So this is kind of looking like a bit of a foregone conclusion. I say that, but I guess a shadow after you take Dale, you just hold. You don't even need to take Minister Oath. You can just hold Peligir. And then you can try and take Lorien, and then you just buff it up with some forces from Moria, and that should get you over the line. But we will see. They do some scouting, and they scout here. Okay, so now they're 1 away from war. Could Dol Guldur become a thing? I mean, it's unlikely. How safe do you play it as the shadow? Okay. So yeah, so now it's looking really bad for the free people, because that Hill Trolls is exactly the perfect card draw. You think that gets you over the line. You don't even need to send forces down from Moria. So it's looking pretty cut and dry. So will there be a twist in the tail? Uses the token to draw a tile, and they draw Wisdom of Elrond, basically a confusion. So you're just praying for some mad shit to happen here. And they also start mustering in Moria just to make extra sure that that you can do that. So I guess as free people, if you really want to make a nuisance of yourself, I mean, I guess you put the north to war, and then just pray for rain. I mean, I think the Rohan are too far from war. You can't really do anything with Gondor. There's no reason for them to really attack out of here and try and take Minas Tirith at this point. So I think Yeah, I think that the only kind of Hail Mary is to get the North to war, start mustering, I guess, and or just start, maybe you roll the perfect dice to be able to get this. No, but with the ring, that's never going to happen. Or can you play a card? Can't play with some Railrond. Could play Guards of Citadel. Is there any point? I suppose you could just start moving out the Rohan down. But again, what are they going to do? They're going to march up here. And yeah, I think the North is probably the play. Okay, you just... Oh, yeah, no, of course, yeah. You just flip the Fellowship. Yeah, that's the smart thing to do. Yeah. Okay. And then we get the Shadows moving and Nazgul Strike. Nazgul Strike is pretty useless now. Shadow moving could be useful. And the free people... Oh, they're already drawn their cards, are they? Okay. So we get a movement. So they've only got 2 movement. The Shadow have not got many attacks, interestingly. So they're going to get the mouth, but they've literally got 2 attacks and 1 ring. And there's no leadership here. However, they do have Black Captain Command, so they can use a Paladin to get the leadership here. So let's see what happens. We get a 2 reveal. We take the thing, and yeah, naturally you take the corruption. Mouth Sauron comes into play. We send across all the leaderships, and we get just a bit of defense here just to make sure. I suppose, yeah, I can see why. I guess what you can do is muster here and then buff, charge, and hope, pray that you can take back Pelagear. Yeah, that's probably the best way of getting back into the game. Yeah, that's a better chance than doing something with the North, really. Yeah. So we play Fighting Uruk-hai. Ah, yeah, great, having this little dude in here. So how the hell are the Fellowship going to survive this? Well, by doing that, rolling that badly. That'll do it. So 3 hits back. So 0 to 3. Great start for the free people. Swarm of Bats against Charge in round 2. So we're not getting any 3 pre-rolls. But horrendous rolling from Amroth again. And 4 hits back. Shit the bed. It's the Elves, man. Everyone else sucks at fighting but the Elves. I mean, in this game, that's kind of how it's been. Turn 3. Is it possible? Are we going to get a Confusion Witch King wipeout? That's what this feels like it's setting up for. I feel like we're going to see an insane Confusion, Witch King, and Mouth Death. This is what I'm sensing in my waters. Confusion. 1. Are we going to get 4 hits? He'd have to get all 4 hits to do this. Mate. Oh my god, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Oh my god, and there was what, 1 hit on? I mean, that's why people love and people hate this game, because of bullshit like that. Yeah, so I mean, in any normal game, I suppose there's an argument there, like, and I don't know. I was going to say, do you need to play Fighting Uruk-hai there? Is there any... There's always a risk with Grond and Fighting Uruk-hai, but when you've got that much of a numerical advantage, what was it? 3 and 6 and 3, was it? You don't... Yeah. And if you don't do that, there's a chance that they can dunk because you're too slow, because you don't have the attack dice. So I think you have to do it. I think that was just Java gods being Java gods, really. 0. He literally did. I thought you got 1 hit in there. I felt like there was 1 hit. Maybe I misread it. But that is insane. Complete wipeout. Wow. So now, as the Shadow, what the hell do you do? Yeah. I suppose the next best bet is probably, given you've got 2 musters, it's probably Helm's Deep. You probably start mustering these guys like crazy, but still, still slow. You can get that up to 5 elites. Gives you a good shot actually of winning next turn if you just fully muster this. Send the oh man, you've lost all of your Nazgul as well and your dice. Oh, has he got any end cards? He hasn't got any end cards, but you don't know that. Man, Shelob goes in. We get a 3. Strider is sacrificed himself, as he is wont to do. Losanek, no card. Yeah, or you just go for Minas Tirith. Yeah, that army can take that. Actually, he's got. But you've got to hold on to that. So what you're just trying to get under siege, and then you're going to bring reinforcements in from here next turn. I guess that's the plan. What do you think, people? Is this a better plan, or is this a better plan? This one might be too slow. At least with here, you're close to the stronghold. And you can use those 2 muster dice efficiently. Here, there's nothing to really muster. You can get, I guess you can get 2 elites here. And then it's 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I don't know. Naturally. Oh, 2 movement. Okay. Okay. What are you... Was he? I don't think you need to do that. I guess he's got a ring, so actually Shadow could have been quite clever. Okay, I see what they're protecting themselves from. If you don't do that and then you don't have any movement left, you're forced to use... If then Shadow goes for a mad dash here, using the... I still think next turn you can do that movement straight into Helm's Deep. I don't... Yeah, I think I would have prioritized just getting a full elite into Minas Tirith. Oh no, because I guess they had a ring and a oh, the mouth's dead though. Yeah, the mouth's dead. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think you could have just gotten an elite here. The fair ship, but yes, then they use a ring to move. It's an eye, so that's 3. Then you just take the 2 guys, and then you're hidden. Okay, they're starting to muster here. Palantir is drawn. And we go into turn 8. Dead Men and Spirit of Mordor. Don't think Spirit of Mordor will be playable. They could use it for the scouts maybe to be annoying in some capacity. And then the Shadow, draw, give it to us, and Pits of Mordor. So 1 useful combat card, and then get that tile in there ASAP. We get potentially, that should be enough to get you over the line. 1 hide, well, unless they get, well, yeah, so 1 hide, 1 movement. Okay, it depends if they hit a... but wait, have you got... Yeah, but they've kept There's Another Way. But you need the character die to play that. But then you can... Okay, anyway, so it's going to be... They've got a good chance of getting over the line here. Give it to us, goes in the pool. Then we play Mythical Current Sting. Oh, sorry, I didn't even see the roll. Getting ahead of myself. So yeah, they've got a great roll. And now they start mustering up here. So, have they changed their mind? Midway through? Or they're just doing both? There's Another Way is played. Just a 1. Obviously not going to use Mithril on that. Fords is attacked with this army. They scouts away. And then the fair ship moves and they draw a 3. And it's GG. So that game basically all came down to one absolutely mental, crazy moment, really. I think the rest of the game played out pretty much as you'd expect. Not many huge comments to make on it, except for Lorien. Madness. Absolute madness. Those elves, they really... They earned their pay. They earned their Llembas bread. So good on them. Good on them. Hope they have a lovely elf party after that. Not a single elven unit harmed in this battle. Well, that's another exciting, enthralling episode of Peep. Oh God, I'm tired. Peep and Tom Bombadil. Oh. I'm training for a marathon, and I ran 20 miles yesterday. So that's my excuse, you know. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well, and have a lovely evening or afternoon or morning. And love you. Bye.